back in the 18th century when it was nothing more than a dirt track. Up to the right hand side of Wellington Street is the financial district of Glasgow, where many of the banking and insurance companies are all located. The next stop will be stop 11 for the Marriott Hotel, the Hilton Hotel, the Menzies Hotel and the Premier Inn Hotel. If you look on your right hand side above the Waterloo pub, you will see another street name with a famous individual's name on it, Wellington Street, of course named after the Duke of Wellington. We passed by his statue earlier on, which was located outside the Gallery of Modern Art. And you will find that a lot of the street names are indeed named after famous tobacco merchants and famous individuals in general. If you look on your left hand side, many of these buildings will be getting demolished. As you can see on the left at the moment, this one is being demolished, and it will make way for many of the modern restaurants and bistros which will be built in this area. On your left is Kentigern Building, the Ministry of Defence building, named after our patron saint and city founder, sometimes referred to as St Mungo. Straight ahead in front of us is the Kingston Bridge. It was opened by the Queen Mother in the 1970s. It's one of the most busiest motorway bridges in Scotland. On the leg supports of the bridge are sporting themes. Glasgow City Council commissioned the Australian artist Sam Bates to come up with unique sporting themes for Glasgow's 2014 Commonwealth Games. And indeed, as we turn left, you will see a much grander scale mural by the same Australian artist. And it's called Swimmers and Divers. And the results are most impressive. He completed the murals using aerosol cans. So straight ahead in front of us is Swimmers and Divers by the Australian artist who I mentioned, Sam Bates. A fine opportunity to take some photographs if this mural is of interest to you. The River Clyde stretches over 106 miles. It is a tidal river which can rise to 16 feet. Back in the 18th century, the River Clyde was dredged to allow large shipping vessels to come up right into the heart of the city and to unload the many cargoes at the docksides. And at one time in the 17th century, you could actually walk across the River Clyde on stepping stones. However, back then it was a shallow river, and you certainly don't want to be trying that out today, for obvious reasons. Over to your left-hand side of the River Clyde You will find many of the modern aspects of Glasgow with the casino, the bowling alleys and the restaurants. On your right here, on this land once stood the former cargo warehouses, where many of the cargoes were stored after they were brought up the River Clyde in the many shipping vessels and unloaded at the docks. This is Lansfield Quay. Back in the 12th and 13th century, this land was all farmland and fields. And up to your right-hand side is Lansfield Street, a reference as to when, during the 13th and 12th century, this is where the knights practiced their jousting and horseback. On your left is the chains where the ships left for all over the world. Straight ahead in the distance, above the Hilton Garden Inn Hotel, is the Finniston Crane. And that is the only remaining legacy of the heavy shipbuilding on the River Clyde which remains today. And it was built in 1931. Finniston Crane has many nicknames, being referred to as the Stirred Cross Crane and Big Bertha. We're crossing over now the 2006 Clyde Art Bridge. Local Glaswegians have given it the nickname the Squinty Bridge, due to the indirect way in which it crosses over the River Clyde. Look to your left and right, and I'll give you some time to take in the scenery. On your right hand side is the round red brick rotunda building. They closed in the 1980s, but one is in use as a Japanese restaurant. Inside there were former hydraulic lifts which lowered the horses and carts to a tunnel entrance beneath the River Clyde. They would then be brought up to the opposite rotunda, which we'll see on the way back again. This area we're about to enter is known as Govan, and at one time it was a separate borough to Glasgow. On your right is the STV studios, where our news reporting team broadcast from on a daily and evening basis, and where Taggart, our longest running crime drama, was at one time broadcast from. On your right hand side is the red brick Four Seasons building with the different wings at the top, the former hydraulics pumping station, which was used to operate much of machinery on the River Clyde. To the left is Festival Park, and in this entire area is where the Glasgow Garden Festival was situated in 1988. It was a colourful and wonderful event, drawing thousands of people from all over Glasgow and the United Kingdom. The next stop is stop 12 for the IMAX Cinema and the Science Centre. Please remain seated for your own safety until the bus has come to a stop. On your left, within the IMAX Cinema, we have a cinema screen bigger than a 5-a-side football pitch, showing 2D and 3D films. In the Science Centre, also over to the area of the left, we have over 500 scientific exhibits to preview and a planetarium showing you the different constellations in the universe, planets and stars, and how they have shifted over millions and indeed trillions of years in our great universe. Remember, there are admission fees to enter both attractions unless you have bought your joint ticket from our drivers. Thank you. Bye bye.